Oh, baby, this got me fired up. Louis Riddick had a very interesting take on the New York Jets Super Bowl chances for this upcoming season. Let's get into it. And I'll explain why he is wrong. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show. Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby. For me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been on.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
What's poppin', everybody? Paul Weston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily. All right, everybody, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Something got stuck in my craw yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I was watching Get Up, the ESPN television show in the morning with Greenberg and all those guys. And you're about to hear a clip. You'll see it as well. But whether you're watching or listening, you'll hear the clip as well. And they're talking about the New York Jets. And Louis Riddick went on this rant about the New York Jets that I'm going to be honest, I'm aggressively going to push back on the show today. Now, it's a little bit of a longer clip, but we'll play the whole thing. I want the full context before we jump on the train here. This is from Louis Riddick yesterday on ESPN's Get Up television show, talking about the New York Jets, and we've got some things to say about it. Let's roll the footage.
No team has ever been in a position where they're trying to capture lightning in a bottle more than the Jets are right this minute. You're trying to win with a 41-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles tendon surgery, with the coach and a general manager who are getting fired if things go sideways this season. The owner has basically said all of that. So there's never been a team more all in than they are right now.
Do we really think that the Jets, realistically?
Yeah.
Like, as a Jets fan, are you realistically believing that they can go from what happened last year to the Super Bowl?
If you're a Jets fan, you're believing whatever.
That can really happen.
You're believing whatever.
That ain't happening. That is not happening.
Lou, they won. It's not. They won 7 last year.
Producers,
you don't think it's Wars 3? You don't think he can get them 10, get them in the tournament with that defense? And if Aaron Rodgers is there to make certain decisions, listen, they can compete with anybody. But they need Aaron Rodgers to stay healthy.
You know what? Let me put it this. Look, I'm not being disrespectful to the Jets, because I love many of the things that they're doing. I just think the AFC, these other teams in the AFC, they are getting better too. Baltimore's going to be better. Cincy's going to be better. Pittsburgh's going to be better. Kansas City's going to be right back in it again. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Baltimore has 50 free agents, man. They got to try to re-sign. They got no offensive line as well. Ronnie Stanley's a $100 million disaster right now.
I know, and they lost multiple players. They're going to be better.
It's 2 quarterbacks that I trust to not panic when they go against
Patrick
Mahomes. That's Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Everybody else had a glazed look on their face whenever they faced Patrick Mahomes.
Final word from Kmart. Go.
I just need Louis Riddick not to be such a wet blanket.
Yes,
Honestly.
Louis.
Honestly.
No, you know what? He don't have
Get
to
on
fear
board,
Patrick
Louis.
Mahomes. He better fear whoever's rushing him, because they better get some offensive linemen.
They will.
That's who he better fear.
I got the plan right here.
Yeah, Bart's going to take care of absolutely everything. And candidly, if everything goes sideways on us, Bart may be the only one left in the building.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. But some of the big highlights we want to point out is Louis Riddick said, do you believe that the Jets can go from what they were last season, which, by the way, was 7-10, to the Super Bowl? There's no chance in hell that's not happening, Louis Riddick said. And I know there are a lot of Jet fans out there. I saw it on Twitter yesterday, actually, in response to this video, that said their expectations may have been blee last year, but now they're blah. That they had super high expectations last year. A lot of Jet fans said this, and that they've changed, that they no longer have those high expectations. Let me be as blunt and as clear as possible. Going into last year, my expectations were the freaking Super Bowl. You have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You have a game-changing defense, which proved to be true. We don't know about the the superstar quarterback, unfortunately, because of the injury. But when you have that defense and you have that quarterback play, that is the recipe to make a run and to make things happen. That is on the table for the New York Jets. That was my expectations last year, and guess what? That's still my expectation. Now, Louis Riddick, like belittling the Jets, like Jet fans think that they could go from that to the Super Bowl. It's funny. I've got evidence right in front of me of teams that have made very quick turnarounds in a short period of time to go on to end up not only being in the Super Bowl but winning the Super Bowl. Let's throw some names on the list, some turnarounds that are of note. Okay. How about the 1981 San Francisco 49ers? The 49ers were 2-14 in 1979. They won their first championship 2 seasons later. Again, they were 2-14 in 1979. 2 seasons later, they won their first world championship. What about the 1999 St. Louis Rams? Here's an interesting little fun fact. They only had one winning season in the decade of the 1990s. That came in 1999 when they beat the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl. St. Louis went 5-11 and 4-12 the 2 years prior to that Super Bowl winning campaign. But I hate to even bring this one up, but the 2001 New England Patriots, who finished last in the AFC East with a 5-11 record a year earlier, and then all of a sudden, booyah, Super Bowl. The 2003 Carolina Panthers, they were 1-15 in 2001. 2 seasons later, they reach the Super Bowl. The 2021 Cincinnati Bengals, who picked number 1 overall 2 seasons prior, and then they ended up in the Super Bowl. Okay, let's go through a couple other ones. This is a terrible example because the Jets would have beaten this team with nobody's business in the Super Bowl, but the 1998 Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons were 3-13 in 1996. And then they were 14-2 in 1998, and they turned that around. The 98. Go to the 2018 Rams. Okay, pre-Sean McVay era, that was freaking Jeff Fisher. They were 4-12 in the season before hiring McVay. Then the Rams won 11 games in 2017 and 13 in 2018, where they lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Hell, you can even put this one in here. This is the pre-dynasty of the Dallas Cowboys, right at the beginning of it, obviously. The Dallas Cowboys in 1991, 1-15 in 1989. They were 11-5 2 years later. The 1998 New York Jets, people, Bill Parcells, coming on over. The team went 1-15 the year prior to his arrival, and then in 1998 got to the AFC Championship game. 1999 Indianapolis Colts. Okay, they had the first overall pick with Peyton Manning in 1998. And then they eventually turned it around with 13-3 in his second season. My point is, with all of these names and lists I'm throwing out there, is the people that just kind of destroy the narrative, that say there's zero chance that the Jets can make a turnaround. Teams have made, including the Jets, by the way, well over a couple of decades ago, they made that turnaround. Other teams have made that turnaround even more recently. The Bengals, the Rams, this team, that team. It's not impossible to be able to do that. Now, the thing that Louis Riddick said that's correct is they need offensive linemen. Absolutely they do. But it's possible to fix that in an offseason. It's difficult, but it's possible. The Kansas City Chiefs from a couple years ago, they drafted Trey Smith, plug and play. Creed Humphrey, plug and play. Free agency with Orlando Brown. They were able to combine all of their possibilities together to recreate the offensive line. To me, I think there are 3 starters on this offensive line. You have Joe Tittman, who hopefully is your center for the next decade. You have Elijah Vera Tucker, who's got to stay healthy, of course. That's a big if. I think that's something a lot of Jet fans are relying on that we haven't seen yet. So it's a big if. So depth is going to be a priority. And then Lakin, who, to me, Lakin has just been rock solid in terms of being available. Everyone else has not been available. I saw the stat from Hembo. The Jets have had like 64 offensive line combinations over the last 5 years or something, some wild number. Okay. Lakin has been constant from that perspective, and I believe that better play around him will increase his play. I strongly believe that. So then you've got to fill the tackle spots, of course. And then if you fill the tackle spots, you're good. You have the 10th overall pick. That is one avenue. You have free agency. That's another avenue. We're going to explore in a couple of these Boy Green dailies coming up. There's a couple of trade possibilities, quite frankly, to get an offensive tackle that's kind of intriguing. whether it's a Cam Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars, potentially Garrett Bowles of the Denver Broncos. Again, we'll dive deeper in on some of these names. It's not impossible. So for Louis Riddick in February, before free agency, before the draft, to brush off the Jets' chances of getting to the Super Bowl, I mean, quite frankly, it's kind of crazy. The offseason hasn't happened yet. How could we have such definitive takes before the offseason happens? Anything can happen in the draft. That's what makes the draft so cool, is that there's hope that anything can happen. You can draft your whoever in the draft. My dad just jumped in the chat. You're Dak Prescott in the 4th round. You're Tom Brady in the 6th round. You're this guy. You're this guy. You're this guy. Everyone has hope going into the draft because you can take whoever. Anyone can be a pick. Puka Nacua. Anyone can be your pick in the draft, and all of a sudden your hope of the franchise can turn around. Free agency. While there's been a lot of bad ones for the New York Jets, DJ Reed, what a find by Joe Douglas. What if he finds another DJ Reed, but this time on the offensive line? It's not impossible. So again, I'm just really kind of thrown aside that we're in this position where the Jets' chances are getting demolished and annihilated here in the late February. Man, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I just don't really understand what's happened there. All right, let's, while I'm trying to breathe better, because it just angered me yesterday when I saw that, let me go through some comments. All right, Dakota's been up since 12 this morning. God bless. Way to support the channels. We appreciate you. Like the video, everybody on YouTube. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Steve Larson comments in on YouTube. We need another Brick Ferguson. If not, I see the Jets signing David Bakhtiari and re-signing Becton as his caddy. Yeah, I mean, sign me up for DeBrickashaw Ferguson. I think we talked about it the other day. Played for a decade for the New York Jets, missed one snap, and that was on a trick play. All reliable. To be honest, we were spoiled. We didn't appreciate him enough while he was here because no one ever said his name because he was just reliable. And I'll quickly tell my DeBrickashaw Ferguson story. My dad will know it well. So my dad took me to Jets training camp. And I'm pretty sure that was the one that was at the Jets facilities. And they were staying in a hotel, all the players, by the team facilities. My dad picked the right hotel, apparently. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it's where all the Jets players were staying. So while we were at the practice, I had these Jet shoes. They're actually behind me. They're hooked over here. They're a little hidden, so I won't waste the time going out to grab them. But DeBrickashaw Ferguson, I see him, and he signs the shoes, right? He signs a one in big letters, and then Muhammad Wilkerson signs the other. And I put him back on my feet. Brick, I remember saying that was one of the weirdest things he's ever signed, like someone taking their shoe off their foot to get it signed. Anywho, fast forward a bunch of hours, right? So we go back to the hotel, and my dad told me, hey, go get ice for us. He gives me the ice bucket. And I'm like, I don't know where the ice is. So I'm hitting like floors. And I hit a floor, and something feels different. I'm like, wait a second. Oh my gosh, the Jets are staying here at this hotel. Oh my gosh, this is where the Jets are on this floor. I'm seeing the signs on the wall for like food, when you could get catering for food, where you can put your laundry for stuff. I'm like, holy friggin' crap. I am on the Jets floor. So now I'm like, what do I do? Do I just go back downstairs and say, hey, that's my story? Or do I walk around on the floor a little bit just to see? Maybe I'll run into somebody. I don't know. So I'm carrying the ice bucket. Or no. I bring the ice bucket down and I explain to my dad what happened. And then I believe I come back up. And I'm walking around the floor. Now, here's a huge benefit that happened to me. My dad gave me the latest New York Jets gear. So I'm wearing a Jets hat, a Jets shirt, Jets shorts, and then the Jets shoes that were just autographed. So I'm in full Jet gear, but not like fan style, although you could take it as a fan, like an employee that just got handed all the new Jets gear on day one. So I'm walking around the floor. A Jets coach passed me. I can't remember who it was. And I'm like, what's up, coach? Coach? He just kind of gives me a head nod. So the key is confidence, right? So I don't look like I don't belong. I'm just kind of walking down the hallway. And then I see a coach. And again, just head nod. What's up, coach? Need anything, coach? Nothing? By the way, I was not prepared if he said, yeah, actually, I do need something. So thank God he said nothing. He just kept plodding along. Then all of a sudden, no friggin' crap, DeBrickashaw Ferguson's big ass comes out of a door, and I'm in my head, I'm like, oh my God. But my face, I felt like was stoic. And I'm like, what's up, Rick? And I give him a fist bump. Boop. And then we just keep walking. And I played it so cool. And then eventually I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. But there's like guys playing video games. You could overhear them from their rooms and stuff. I said, okay, I got to get the hell out of here. But Brick, who had just signed my shoes at Jets training camp, like hours earlier, all of a sudden, hours later, I play it cool. Like I guess, pretending to be some sort of Jets employee or intern or something. What's up, Brick? Played it super cool, smooth as all could be. That's my cool DeBrickshot Ferguson story. Oh, that was so amazing. And I freaked out. Absolutely freaked out. But I probably would have been tackled by security if, you say something stupid like, hey, can I get a picture? They're like, wait a second, you don't work here. Hey, get out of here. But back to your story, though. Give me a Brick. Give me a left tackle that's here for 10 years. Absolutely. I think the David Bakhtiari signing is inevitable. I think he's going to get cut by the Packers. I'm cool re-signing Becton on a one-year prove-it deal, potentially. But the plan has to be more than that. You can't count on Bakhtiari to be a starter. You could bring him in and, like, say it's Bakhtiari, you have Carter Warren, and you have like a 10th overall pick, and they're like competing for left tackle, maybe. Like, okay, he's in the room competing. He's a pro. Like, that helps you, sure. But you sign David Bakhtiari, like, we fixed left tackle. Oh boy. To me, that'd be an issue. That would be a big issue. I'm saying a lot of Louis Riddick criticism here. Steve Larson says Fuaga right tackle, Kevin Zeitler right guard. Hey, okay. And then I'd be interested to see where then ABT plays. Is that left guard? Is that left tackle? That's an interesting play, but potentially. And also, I said this last year about, how he's like pounding the table, Louis Riddick, the AFC is going to be better, and this team's going to be better, and this team and this team. I told you guys last year when the schedule came out that all these people saying, no, there's no room for the Jets. There's all these other awesome teams in the AFC. There's no room for them. Come on, garbage. Teams we think are good end up sucking. Teams we think are good sometimes are great. There's a parity from a year-to-year basis. Look at the NFL turnover in the playoffs. It's like, well, it's expanded a little bit now with the extra wildcard spot, but there was since like 1990, like 4 new playoff teams every year until the expanded playoffs. And now it's even more than that, but it was at least 4 new teams every year. So there's new teams churning in and out of the playoffs. So don't give me the AFC's too tough. Shut the hell up. I look at myself, go, we have Aaron Rodgers, we have this defense, and hopefully these improvements we've been talking about this offseason, which, by the way, they're going to improve somehow, some way. I like our chances. Let's see. Been a fan since Joe Namath. I love that. Offensive line issues. New York flight Jets talk. Connor, what's up, buddy? He's had some good I love it. I'm looking forward to the Connor stream. Connor Rogers, Connor Hughes, and Connor from New York flight Jets talk. That'd be fun. Let's see here. Vegas knows. All right, this one coming from in Hyder. Jets are tied with the Dolphins for division odds before free agency draft. Vegas have the Jets for top 10 odds to win the Super Bowl. Just saying, okay, that's what I'm talking about. I did not know those odds, but it makes sense. The AFC East is up for grabs, and the Jets should be very much in that conversation with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. So, again, they're going to improve this team. Free agency, trade, draft, all of it to improve the things. And there are some things that need improving. Front-facing things like offensive line, wide receiver. But if you fix the offensive line and get the wide receivers at a bare minimum, I think all of a sudden you're competing. I think that's going to make a big difference. And that's a good one from John Sauer here, part of the Boy Green Superfan Club. Appreciate you, pal. Thanks for supporting the channel. It will be tough to go to the Super Bowl, no doubt, but reality is we could have easily won 3 or 4 more games with Rodgers in the playoffs. After that, a hot team could win all, his opinion. That's all. Yeah, but that's, to me, the pieces of the puzzle here, okay? Is that we could have easily won 3 or 4 more games. The Falcons game, get the hell out of here. Of course we would have won that one. Raiders, of course we could have won that one. The first Patriots game, that's off the top of my head, and I just gave us 3. Boom. We just go from 7-10 to 10-7. 10-7 is probably good enough, especially with all those wins being predominantly AFC. Booyah, we're in the playoffs. And then if you're in the playoffs with the Hall of Fame quarterback, the defense, like your chances. That's basically it. You get a ticket to the dance, and anything can happen. So that's my take on it. We got Hefe here on Facebook. Why move on from Zach when the plan for him was to watch, learn from Rodgers, but keep the head coach OC? Yeah, here's my thing on Zach that I still haven't gotten a proper explanation on, and maybe we'll never get it. So the Jets say they wanted to redshirt Zach Wilson. Okay. that means that under any circumstance, you redshirt him. So he was the backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers. So if Aaron Rodgers got hurt, it was Zach Wilson. That's what happened week 1, of course. Okay. Then as soon as week 1 was over, we're like, no, we are committed to redshirting Zach Wilson. Let's bring in another guy, maybe 2 guys, and push Zach Wilson down the depth chart so he can continue to redshirt and learn so we don't force him out there. Because what changes from having to have the redshirt conviction is saying, oh, he didn't look half bad out there. Okay, cool. We'll rent him for the season. That was a mistake. And the Jets have not admitted to that. That one is one that deserves some further investigation. Paul A. Esden Sr., the biggest challenge on Facebook, the biggest challenge to the Jets is making a deep playoff when it's not offensive line, wide receiver, or backup quarterback. It's their entire coaching staff. Hackett's solid scouting team will prevent it. We'll see if that's true. I think what will happen here is when you have an Aaron Rodgers, there's a floor with Aaron Rodgers who's healthy. You're going to be in a lot more games. I'll have to double check the schedule once it comes out in May and the opponents, but the Jets getting blown out seems very unlikely next season, happening a lot with this defense and Aaron Rodgers. Both being off on the same day doesn't sound like that's going to happen too often. So that means you're going to be in a lot more closer games. And when you're in closer games, those coaching decisions are magnified. So Robert Saleh blowing a 2-minute drill, or Robert Saleh being a little questionable on game management or time management situations, all of a sudden will be amplified tenfold for the New York Jets. So that will be the key. Now, I don't think any of us can say, so my dad is indicating here that, the coaching and scouting team is going to prevent them from getting it. I don't think we know. We've never seen Robert Saleh with a competent quarterback. So it's an unfair eval, to be honest with you. Robert Saleh gets a lot of crap. And rightfully so for a lot of situations. For me, he's never had a quarterback. Let's see how he operates with a quarterback. He's talked about how his defense can go off when they have leads. They haven't had leads. With Aaron Rodgers, you're expecting a few more leads. So I push back on that. I appreciate the highlight of this point. And I agree that it will be an amplified portion of the game that Jet fans have not understood because they've either been out of it or the games haven't been close enough for these kind of decisions to matter on a consistent basis. You have Aaron Rodgers. These decisions are mattering on a consistent basis, and I'm very much looking forward to how those play out. Phil on YouTube says, how good is Cam Robinson? They say he may be released by the Jaguars. I believe that's a cap situation, but I haven't heard about the potential of a release. But Cam Robinson's pretty good. I didn't do the article yet, so I haven't dove into some of the analytics or numbers on him, but I'm pretty sure he's a former first rounder. Pretty good guy. He's been the left tackle for a few years. He's been franchise tagged in the past. Yeah. Ed on our Facebook page says, nobody is signing here with a lame duck GM and coach, especially after Jets GM mail in on season after week 1. Yeah, I disagree. Nobody's signing here. This is an NFL team. Of course, people are signing here, and they've got a bunch of money, and people are going to want to play with Aaron Rodgers. But maybe that'll keep some people away. It's keeping, Chad Alexander gets a promotion, gets to go to a new place in the first year as opposed to potentially being quote-unquote lame duck if things go wrong. Yeah, there are some people that will be scared off by that for sure, but I think they're going to have plenty here. Let's see. If we trade back, we could get 2 solid OTs rounds 1 and 2. That's good on paper, but if it's one of those top 2, I'd be very Olu Fashanu or Joe Alt. That's where I'd lean personally. But maybe if you miss out on those 2, and then it's just a bunch of right tackles, Fuaga, Tyler Guyton, Armarius Mims, things of that nature, maybe you trade back and you try to get multiple swings of the pinata. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, Phil throws this one out there. Cam Robinson to have Bakhtiari as backup, then trade down a couple picks, pick Fuaga for right tackle, then we're cooking with gas. That's a compelling case. That's not bad. I like that. Kirk Cousins style. You like that? I like that. Yeah. The sky's not falling. Exactly, Snowball. I hope we re-sign Connor McGovern from Johnny on YouTube. Absolutely. He signed for $1.9 million. He was a great influence on Joe Tippmann from everything we've heard, both from McGovern side and Tippmann side. So I love that. Absolutely love that. That would be terrific. Great depth. I'd like him behind Tippmann and keep Tippmann at center. Okay. Yep. Again, I know Avatal says, I know people want to keep Tippmann at center. I feel like he's a better guard. You can find other guards. So I'd be fine to keep a Tippmann at center. It's not like Tippmann was terrible at center. Tippmann's fine at center. And again, he's a young player. Give him a chance to, kind of get his feet wet. So I'm perfectly fine with keeping Tippmann at center. Actually, I'd prefer it. Let's keep Tippmann at center and let's get other guards in here. Let's stop throwing people all over the place. Let's have some conviction. Tippmann center. And then again, depending on how things play out, there's a real big chance ABT could flip out to tackle. I'd prefer him at guard, but the tackle thing is intriguing because of the difficulty of filling those positions. Avatar. Bakhtiari, more likely retiring than signing a one-year prove-it deal. I don't know. I don't know Bakhtiari personally, so we will see. I don't know. I can't speak to that. People have been saying that, like, would he take it? I don't know if he would take it. We'll see. I think he's best. Not that I think. I've seen it. He's best friends with Aaron Rodgers. And he can link up with him, hook up with his buddy, and the Jets have a clear need. So it just seems like it makes a lot of sense. But, hey, the money will have to work. The Jets can't be throwing crazy money at him. Johnny on YouTube, Boy Guru, is that you at the airport, Brees Hall? We haven't really talked about that story, but real quick. I have had the great pleasure of, whether in my business of sports talk radio, sports media, or just random luck, I've run into a ton of celebrities in my life. It's been super cool. My dad has been with me for a few. Chuck the Iceman Liddell at a Baltimore airport going, holy friggin' crap, that's Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. And, or so in public places, just like the airport thing or Brees Hall, or Fletcher Cox. I met him at a Mississippi airport. I'm trying to think. There's plenty. I'm going to miss some, but no, that was not me with Brees. But I will tell you, here's kind of my modus operandi. I didn't even know I had a modus operandi for this situation, but just thinking of history, I would feel very weird to ask for anyone at an airport for an autograph. It just seems odd timing. Weird, because am I just randomly carrying around something I would want autographed? Like, a thing I will admit, and I've got no shame, I love doing is taking a selfie with somebody, like, hey, Fletcher Cox, that's out in the universe somewhere. Me and Fletcher Cox, I told him to his face, I'm like, hey, wish you were playing for a different shade of green, pal. Wish you were playing for my Jets. And maybe we could get that this offseason. That'd be cool. I could bring that picture back up. But for me, I think a cool thing is, like, just seeing the person and taking a picture, like, oh, wow, look who I ran into. But, like, an autograph, that just seems odd. And, like, sign my notebook? Like, what? Like, or, like, for this person, obviously, he's probably camping out and selling it on eBay or something, probably, like a jersey or this or that. Like, the only scenario that I could ever see, and I probably wouldn't have the right, like, marker with me or something, or a pen or something to sign, especially on a jersey, is if I was wearing Brees Hall's jersey, I'm like, Brees Hall! Like, maybe, but even then, I still probably would lean picture. I'm a picture guy. If I'm at the Jets training camp and it's an autograph session going on, sure, sign this. You're signing it for everybody. Makes sense. But the autograph thing at the airport just gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. But again, I'm a big picture-taking guy. Chuck Liddell, by the way, did not take a picture. Here's a quick Chuck Liddell story. For those who don't know, he's a UFC legend. So me and my dad run into Chuck Liddell. We're like running down one of those ramps at the airport, and I look up. I think he looks up. One of us noticed it. Like, holy freaking crap, that is Chuck Liddell. And to give some context, we were at a UFC event that weekend, but we see Chuck Liddell, and, like, I don't know, we giggle like schoolgirls. We're like, what's up, Ice? Or Iceman or something? And he just kind of gives an awkward head nod, and we keep walking. We're like, that was so cool, Chuck Liddell. And then me and my dad have to go on separate planes. He's going somewhere else. I'm going somewhere else. So I go to my plane, and I sit down, and I look up. I'm like, holy freaking crap, Chuck Liddell is on my flight. He's right there. And I'm like, and I'm texting my dad. I'm like, holy freaking crap, the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, he's on my flight. And I'm like, do you want me to take a picture of him? Like, of him, because we're, like, sitting down. It'd be weird if I come up to him and ask him for a picture. Like, we already ran into each other once. So I said, oh, I'll just kind of take a picture and show my dad that I'm, like, dead ass serious. He's right here. Want to know what happened? I had the flash on. So me sitting here, Chuck Liddell sitting here, UFC fighter. And I just kind of put up my phone like I'm looking at it. Like I'm not like trying to take a picture. I was trying to be super smooth. And I go, my sound's on and the flash is on. What an idiot. I go, it goes, ch-ch. And then Chuck Liddell just looks up. And I'm like, and it was an awkward second because he had like an angry face, like he was going to punch me. He looked very violent. Like, and look at his UFC videos, very violent man. I went, oh God, oh Jesus. And yeah, sound on. So it went, and it felt like the loudest camera flash in history. And he was just looking down and he just looks up with that look like, you son of a, and it was just awkward. I'm just like eventually I just kind of put the phone down and just go, and just try to ignore it. And then, oh boy, what? Oh God, I thought he was going to break me. He did not. But we did sit pretty close to each other on the plane. So again, long story short, I'm a picture guy when I'm doing these sort of things. Picture guy. All right, let's go through a couple more here. Bakhtiari, yep, I think that's going to happen. Joey saying signing Bakhtiari would be a big mistake, a wasting a valuable offensive line spot. If you give him significant money, I agree, but and probably not even to this aggressive level, but you know, he's been an all-pro when healthy, and I get it, when healthy. He has not been healthy a lot lately, but who'd you rather have, Xavier Newman or David Bakhtiari? You know what I'm talking about? So again, if the money's right, that's a big piece of it. Washington, Fuaga, Penn State guy. Yeah, I'd like him. Olu Fashano at left tackle. That'd be nice. Let's see. Fuaga. Okay. Let's see. We did have Chiefs on the ropes. That's a game we should have had. Joey says, would I be okay with the Jets picking the top safety in the draft? I'd have to take a second. Who even is the top safety in this draft? I haven't really even been looking at safeties. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be candid. I don't know the answer to that question here on February 22nd, or my brain's freezing right now in this moment. I can't even think of who the top safety is. But no, I mean, that'd be a Debbie Downer. I want offense. So like the Brock Bowers pick, the show yesterday pissed a lot of people off. At least it's offense. Offensive line, wide receiver, tight end. I want offense, quite frankly. So if it went defense, I'd probably be disappointed. Not probably, I would be. Yes. Yeah, Phil says, I know there's no scientific evidence, but my gut tells me ABT would be less injury prone at guard. So here's the facts. ABT has been injured twice, both playing tackle, triceps and Achilles. I just don't think there's any medical knowledge or path or correlation to playing here as opposed to here and that resulting in injury. I don't know. Maybe you use different muscle groups. I'm not sure. But the only reason this can of worms is open is because Robert Saleh believes that the moving around contributed to the injury, which seems crazy. I that seems a little wild to me, but yeah, that part to me is a little strange. Jared B comments, and Paul, do you know what happened to Cam Laser? I hope he's okay. He hasn't been here in a while. That's funny that you mentioned that. He messaged me late last night, early this morning. He has been battling a lot of medical things. I don't want to get too into his business here, but he's a commenter on our channel. I don't want to put his business out there in the universe, but he's been battling some medical things, but he's feeling much better. Or he's feeling somewhat better. So, but thank you, Jared B, for checking in on that. He has not been in here in a while, and he's been waking up after the show, basically. So, shout out to Cam. Love our Jets. ABT needs to stay at guard. Samar on tackle. Let's see. Titman, stay healthy. Yes. Yep, some reporters are acting like the Jets weren't 7-10 last year. It's pretty impressive considering all the crap. Not good enough for me. I still have higher standards than that, but that's an excellent question. We get this one here from Jay on YouTube. Do you think the new logo for 2024 on the helmet is the one from your hat or the one from your helmet over your right shoulder? Good question. I'm leaning right shoulder, but I would love, to be honest, I love the logo on my hat, to be honest with you. I love it, and it's kind of with it. You can't really see it, but well, that's the same one actually. I'm very balanced today. I don't know, but I'm leaning towards shoulder. But hat would be cool too. I don't think you can mess this up, although you say that and then people do. But I'm really excited for the reveal, to be honest. Long overdue. Long overdue. I love it. I wasn't as destroying people on the jerseys. I have several of those jerseys in the closet, but I get it. MF says the memory of seeing someone is enough if someone's noteworthy. Yeah, different strokes, different folks. I don't shame anyone. Ricky says, I met David Clowney, didn't ask for an autograph. Yeah, again, unless it was an autograph line, I'd feel kind of weird about an autograph. But a picture, I don't like, they could say no. My dad has a great story about Rampage Jackson asking for a photo for his son, which was me. And Rampage told him, I don't take photographs. Oh, okay. So if they say no, you move on. You don't get pissy with them, apparently, like this guy did at the airplane. They say no. Okay. I'm not going to be a jerk. Hey, do you want to take a picture? No, I don't. Okay. Well, nice meeting you anyway, pal. Thanks. I'm not going to be a jerk to him. Like, oh, you don't want to take a picture? Like, no. Like, he just want to take a picture. Okay. I ask once. They say no. I'm like, okay. I move on with my life. Like, come on, people. Let's not be weird about it. Let's not put people in weird positions. ABT love. Let's see. A lot of people sharing their stories in here. Very nice. About autographs and players. I like it. Cooper DeJean and Cameron Kitchens. Oh, that's why. Yeah. No thanks. No thank you. I do not want a safety. Yep. No offense to those guys, but no, I'm good. We'll figure that out. Ricky says his best autograph he ever got was Curtis Martin. Also had a conversation with him. Incredible. Mine, again, I've told this story before, so I won't waste your guys' time. Same sort of situation. Best autograph I ever got was Santonio Holmes. It's a framed jersey over there, and I need to get it in a better position. I also have a really cool Sauce framed, or it's not framed yet, but a Sauce autograph thing that I got from my boy Italy. But the Santonio Holmes one was a personal one. That one was just a gift. But the Santonio Holmes one was off my back, sign the jersey, have a 5-minute conversation with me. So freaking cool. So freaking cool. I mean, those are the stories you love. That's awesome. There's pictures of us. That's really cool. Dakota asked, Paul, am I from Albany, New York, or Hughes? I'm not from any of these places. I'm a military brat, so I've been moving around all over the place. But I've been in Syracuse, Oswego area for the last 16 years. That's where I've resided for now. Yep. Oh, shout out to Steven. Great interaction with Chad Pennington a few years ago. Great player. One of my all-time favorite. Oh, I freaking love Chad, man. That was one of my first jerseys I ever got was Chad Pennington. Chad's the man. I love Chad. My dad said he took one anyway of Chuck Liddell. He said, or Rampage is what he's talking about. Rampage said, hey, hey, can I take a picture of my son? And Rampage Jackson, another former UFC fighter, is like, kick rocks, pal. I don't take pictures. My dad took one anyway. God bless him. I'm sure he had flash off. Because Rampage actually would have punched him in the face. Thankfully, Chuck Liddell did not punch me in the face. Oh, wow. I love all your guys' story. This was a fun show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for Boy Green Daily. We'll be back live at 3 o'clock. We've got some things to discuss. There was actually a Bryce Huff new nugget, but it was from an analyst that warned the NFL why they shouldn't sign Bryce Huff to a big deal. Fascinating little show that'll be coming up at 3 o'clock live today with Woody. So I hope you guys can check that one out. That one's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about Jets edge rushers, Bryce Huff, potential guys that they may have to add if Bryce Huff leaves. So that's all coming up live at 3 o'clock. Plus, we'll be back tomorrow morning. That is Italy Jet joining us at 7:30 in the morning. Hope you guys can tune in. Again, no matter where you're watching, the audio version or the video version, show your support. YouTube specifically, like the video on the way out. Hit subscribe, baby. Show love for the channel. That helps it grow. It's like a little plant. You got to nurture it. Got to water it. Got to tend to it. And I appreciate all the tending that is happening. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you.